How's it going, everyone? Today we'll be talking about roguelikes. Roguelikes are games that you start from nothing and become a god. Not in a literal sense, but you start from a very weak state, and then as you progress through the game, then you become more powerful and you are able to do more things. Now, the first game up that we're going to talk about is Risk of Rain. This is my first time playing the Secrets of the Storm pack, or the new one that came out with the that everyone hated. So, it was pretty fun. So, first up, we're going to talk about Risk of Rain. So let's get started. So first up, what to do in Risk of Rain? Well, you're going to spawn in, or actually, let me say the story. The story behind it is, uh, from like not saying any of the lore or whenever the more you find out about this game. If you were to just grab this game right now and start, you crashed on a planet and such, and you want to find your ship and go home. Now, you're going to be playing as the survivors. Survivors are going to be from the screen that you saw previously with all those characters. You're going to start with a few, and as you go through, you're going to unlock pretty much all of them by just doing certain challenges, and it makes you want to play the game more, because that's what roguelikes are. You want to keep playing the game and doing different runs. Now, with Risk of Rain, with like the Risk of Rain is kind of like the natural roguelike that you can do. It's more like you will see more Risk of Rain things, Risk of Rain game like ISK games where you kill enemies, you get money, and then you can go get stronger whenever you spend the money to get items. These items, there are a lot of items in Risk of Rain, so many that with this new update that they had and added a bunch of stuff, I actually don't know what most of them are. But once you keep playing the game, you'll know which items are good and which items are bad, and so on and so forth. And you just keep playing, keep getting the hang of it, and then it's a good time. This game is also really fun with friends. I have sunk, I think, over 100 hours in this game with my friends also. And that's not even talking about the modded versions I've played, because this game does support mods. It's amazing. But anyway, let's continue throughout the story, or throughout the game. So stage 1, you arrive on it. There's a bunch of different stages, and they're also randomly generated of loots. So there's not like a single place where you can memorize stuff and then keep going. So stage 1, you're going to start from nothing. You're going to slowly gather items, get some stuff to go, and then you're going to, once you're ready, fight a boss. Each boss is going to be a different set. And depending on what you do, because I did this, and you'll see in the boss fight that I will show, there are called the Shrine of Mountains. Yes, that's what it's called. It's been a long time since I played this game. It's been a really long time. Shrine of the Mountains basically ups the ante of the altar, which is where you fight the boss. I hit 4 of these in this stage alone, and I had to fight 4 enemies. Now, depending on how many you hit, and depending on what stage you are, and what difficulty you are, because it goes from easy to ha 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 ha, it's weird. Depending on where you are in that stage, the enemies will either be elite monsters, which have fire, lightning, frost, and healing effects. You have to play the game to just see what they do, or they'll just be a bunch of different enemies. So you will see in a bit what I'm talking about. Alright, so I hit the altar. Now 4 bosses are going to spawn. These are Stone Titans. These are actually the second easiest boss you can fight, in my opinion. There are a bunch of preset bosses that you can face, and each of them brings their own set of difficulty. The Stone Titans will have an auto-aiming laser that will just hit you unless you are in take cover, or a certain survivor can just like block the damage. So after you defeat a Stone Titan, if you used what I used, which was a treasure hunter, or if you're lucky, you will get their legendary drop. Each boss has a legendary drop that allows them to, that allows the player to be better. The Stone Titan drops their heart, which gives you more speed and more regeneration, I believe, or it's either health or regeneration. So after you pick that up, you're basically you will respawn faster and make the fight a lot easier. But if depending on the Shrine of the Mountain, you have to be smart. You can't be all rush and all brawn. You have to have some strategy into this, as I've learned many in the past. And depending on the survivor, it will be either insanely hard or really tough. But as you keep going and play the game, like I keep saying, you'll get the hang of everything, and it will become more and more fun. Now we're going to move on to the next stage. In each set of stages, there are some things that will appear in the stage, like this. This is actually part of the new update, an expansion pack. I don't know what it does exactly, but there are different sets of shrines, just like the Shrine of the Mountain. The shrines that I know and are familiar with are gambling, which is just a shrine of luck, I believe is what it's called. The coins they have in the top left, you can use that on the shrine to get 2 items and 2 items only, but you're not guaranteed those items. That's why I call it gambling. Because sometimes you will spend most of your life savings on the shrine and get nothing. Second is the blood of altar. That will exchange your health for coins. If you want coins and you think that you can survive with little health, because you can regen passively without fighting, then go ahead and do it. Then there's also new altars. New altars take lunar coins to activate. Lunar coins you will achieve from beating the game, so getting to stage 6 and defeating Mithrix, the final boss, or obliterating yourself at the obelisk, which is a secret passage you can take after you loop, because you can loop as many times as you want in this game. So anyway, with these altars, they will change your game style and kind of make the game a little more weird, a little more fun. Honestly, a way better thing. But each of them will have their own set of risk and costs and benefits and all that other stuff. Now we have shops. Shops are going to be all over the place, and they're going to work just like chests, except for you can see what you want to get, and you can select 3 items. Depending on what you choose, the other 2 items that are in there will close down, unless you have if you look at the bottom right and you see the number 2 over that special orange highlighted thing, you get a debit card. I kid you not. Those orange highlighted things are I don't know exactly what they're called, but they're like power-ups. They are items that you can use to make your game a lot easier. Which what I have right now is a electric, basically smite everyone down. It's a pretty good item. All of those items have, again, their different set of abilities, skills that you will contrast with your character. So as you keep playing, you will know which ones are good and which ones are bad, because there are some very bad ones and very good ones. Now, during my run, I did not see a single thing of this, but there are some, they're going to be from the other expansion pack, the previous one before this new one. It was a void pack. Basically, the vanilla items got revamped and turned into corrupted items, and they helped you out a lot. And you also got to experience void fields, which had void enemies, and if they hit you, it won't deal damage until a couple seconds, and then you take a massive amount of damage. Those guys are terrifying to face. I skipped stage 3 because the only real thing, it's basically another repetition level to get more items. Stage 4 and stage 5 are really the ones that you are trying to look out for, because stage 4 always guarantees a legendary item. Either will that be chest or with doing a certain thing. Now, these chests will take a lot of money. So much so where you have to fight a bunch of enemies just to get that much money, and you might be in a pickle like I was here. I was fighting for my life just because I wanted those sweet, sweet, sweet legendary items. Now, there are some good legendary items, and there are some bad legendary items. It really is your pick. So after you get these legendary items, you basically are really, really strong. I got an item that every time I use Q, I get a little buff. I get a effect that I won't have on my character, but it will still give me because it's a legendary item. Now these items are amazing. They will honestly save your life in many, many, many situations. So then we're going to move on to stage 5. Stage 5 is, to put it simply, the last stage you have to prepare. It is a flight or die situation. You want to prepare yourself in the best way possible, because if you don't, then you will die. You're going to face a certain amount of enemies, except for this run. I only faced goops, which are these orange things that just turn into smaller versions of themselves, so like rusting nesting dolls. But that's besides the point. You'll find a bunch of things in this place. So much so, you will find a place where you can re-loop your run and don't go to stage 6 with the final boss. Whenever you re-loop, you start the stage all over again, start back as stage 1, but at a higher difficulty. And the more you loop, the harder it will get, but you're going to fill that item bar in the middle a lot. And then whenever you're ready to fight, you're not going to fight Mithrix, because that is a one-time thing. You're actually going to fight the Void Beast, or, depending on a lunar item that you get, you're going to fight the Scavenger, or whatever he's called. But either way, you're going to fight a boss, or just obliterate yourself at the obelisk. It's really just your pick. So if you just keep going and don't re-loop, you'll face Mithrix at stage 6. Now, depending on who you are going to actually have to activate altars, or pillars. Yeah, pillars. You're going to have to activate pillars that will allow you to face Mithrix. Or, if you're a character that has movement abilities of lateral, then you can go straight to Mithrix like I did. But in this stage, you'll find lunar items, and you'll find items that you can sacrifice to get better items. I will show you in a second what I mean by that. In that little area that I'm going to, you will find a bunch of items that you can just sacrifice your items that you have for better or not better items, to put it bluntly. A bunch of these items are going to be green or red rarity, but the ones that you want to go for are the red rarities because they're legendary. And reds will take 5, greens will take 3 items of the... Or reds will take 5 greens, or yeah, 5 greens, then greens will take 3 whites. These items will be good. They will be really good. The one I just got is a really good one. But once you get that, then you're going to have to do the pillars, or if you're like me, which you'll see in a second, what I do. With this character that I have, you can move upwards. And I got an item that allows me to do that 3 times. So I won't have to wait 10 seconds to do it over and over again. So you'll see, he is up there. You have to either fly or face enemies at the pillars. And there's a lot of characters that can cheese this, or there is an item called the Hoppo Feather, which allows the user to jump multiple times. Either way, it is actually really fun to just keep going up and up and up. So now let's go face Mithrix. There he is. There's Mithrix. Mithrix has 3 stages, or technically 4 stages, but really 3 stages. He has, right off the bat, he will face you. And after you get that red health bar all the way down, you enter phase 2, which is only the chimeras, which are lunar enemies that are really strong and you have to watch out and be careful for. And there are 3 different types of lunar enemies. There are ones that fly and have a Gatling gun. There's ones that walk that are basically walking tanks. And then there are little balls that once they die, they'll burst into flames and you will get injured if you don't move. It is a very difficult boss fight because you can never be too prepared. And I don't care. I cheese this boss fight. You'll see in a second. I was fighting for my life in phase 2. Look at this. That whole section took 2 minutes, man. 2 minutes. Anyway, after you defeat phase 2, you then move on to phase 3, where he steals all of your items. Now, I was pretty smart about this. Before he could take my winning condition, I launched a set of fireworks, because fireworks takes time and he moves slowly. And after he steals all of your items, you need to damage him to get your items back. I was lucky to get the fireworks again, so I just spammed this. I know it's not a fair fight, but do I care? No, not really. It's a hard fight because he has all your items and will fuck your shit up. So anyway, after you defeat Mithrix, you will then have to escape the moon because it's about to blow up. I believe in the story, he's like the one that ties the whole moon together. But you have to go to the survivorship that you see at the beginning of the map and stay there like you're doing an altar. After you complete it, you then finish the game. It's a very short and simple thing, but you're going to have lunar enemies and void enemies. Void and lunar enemies hate each other. They will actually fight each other before they fight you. But void enemies are a lot stronger than lunar enemies, and they will spawn black holes once you kill them, which are a run killer. Black holes are instant death. No matter what, they will instantly kill you. It does not matter if you like have a bunch of health or if you have damage reduction. They are an insta kill. But you can revive if you have a certain item. So after you get these to 100, you're done with the game. The game finishes for you. So the only thing different about the ending is if the difficulty that you pick before the game starts. There's easy, normal, and then hard. If you beat the game on hard, and if you beat it with a character, you get their alternate skin, which basically shows that you can do this game in a hard difficulty. That's really it. It is a cool way to like show the dedicated players and the skilled players, but other than that, there's not much really that it gives. Whole 20 minutes of that was Risk of Rain. That's how big Risk of Rain is. Now the next games, we're going to dial it down with the action and do a very cool game that I'm very addicted to right now called Balatro. Balatro is a card game where you just have to play it because it's weird. It's a very weird but also a cool game. So let's take a look at that. I'll try my best to explain this game in a very short term. So essentially, you have a bunch of decks that do certain things, and also you have blinds that will give you money for completion, or you can skip them and get certain perks. And then the final one you can't skip because that is essentially a boss blind. So these boss blinds have a different rule to them. Like for this one, yep, you must play 5 cards. If you don't, then they will not count. And you have to be careful because right here, a bunch of these hands, if you haven't played poker, these are hands, and they will multiply depending on how good they are, because the rarer they are, the better they are. So right here is a full house. It's going to count everything, and then after it counts everything, it's going to times that amount by 4, and you have to get to 600 in this one, but it also ups the ante for every single one. And then you will be able to upgrade these hands because it says level 1. I don't know how the max level, but I've seen it go all the way up to 10. You'll find that with planet cards. Planet cards will upgrade the hands and they will be better. And right here, I didn't pay attention. I was like, okay, I just didn't pay attention. Game over, new run. It's easy to play. It's very easy to get the hang of. So after that, you can either select a blind and then go to the shop, because after each blind you go to the shop and you can get Joker cards. Joker cards are going to fill up that top middle, and they will help you in the game. They will really help you. They will multiply the red, or add to the red, or add to the blue, depending on the hand you play. It's a very complex but also simple game because there's a bunch of stuff that you need to remember or don't need to remember. But this is a pretty sick game, all things considered. I think had this for like 2 weeks. This was also a runner for best game of the year. For 2 weeks, I think I've logged in a total of 10 hours already. But other than that, I don't know much about this. I've only beaten this game twice because there's also antes and rounds. Rounds don't really matter except for certain cards that you get, but antes do matter. Determining on the ante is the amount that the stakes will be at. The first ante, the top stake is going to be 600. After that, it's just going to keep going up and up and up until you get to 100,000, where you need to make 100,000. So right here, I got the popcorn, which will add 20, but after every round, it will subtract 4 from its overall total. And you will keep going until you can no longer go no more. Each thing is very weird and different. So right here are the planet packs I was talking about. They help you level up, and depending on how you play or what joke cards you have, you're going to want to level up those. There is one card which levels up everything by 1, or there's a skip blind that will level up a certain hand 3 times, which is pretty cool. So anyway, like I said, these final ones, they have a different theme to them. This one, you can't use any club cards. All clubs are disabled, and they will not work, and it sucks. So anyway, right below that, right below the hands and discards, you'll see money. Money is what you use at the shop, no duh. And depending on how good you were, and how depending on the hands you didn't use, you'll have more money based off of that. It is a weird concept, but it works. It really does work. So anyway, now you have tarot cards. I did not get into that beforehand. Tarot cards are really, really weird. They have they will change your playing cards and change your joker cards. But then it gets even weirder because there's things called spectral cards. I found this out randomly. Spectral cards are a hit or die area. They might be the saving grace, or they might hinder you and make your run unplayable. And then you also have vouchers. Vouchers are $10 each, and they will upgrade your run or upgrade a certain thing. Like for instance, that said that foils, holographics, and polys will spawn more. Those are times 10 or plus 10 times 1.5 or plus 50 of the blue. It's a lot of information to hold, but it's fun nonetheless. It is a very fun game to play. I'm very addicted to it, and I will keep playing it. So yeah, now let's move on to a game that I got recently, and I do like it. It's very simple, very fun to play with friends, really fun to play with friends, but also very stressful to play with friends. It is called Unrailed. Like I said, it is very, very fun to play with friends. I, however, did not have any friends at this time. I know I'm lonely. But anyway, this game is still pretty fun by yourself. I found out that you have the robot helping you, which was pretty cool. But this game is a train railroad building simulator. You have to get wood and stone to basically make tracks to also progress the train, because if it derails, then you lose the game. So what you can do is place wood in the water so that it can be good to place rails on the water. The players can stand on the lily pads, and then also you want to put the wood and rocks that you pick up onto the wagon, and then after that you want to it will automatically craft rails. Then you go put it in front of the track, and you keep doing it until you reach the station. After the station, you will go into a shop, which it will give you different things. You'll either get a new wagon a new wagon that you can place on with the train. You can get an extension to your wagon so you can level it up or increase stuff. Or you can get stuff for yourself, like at where it says my name, I have a little thing which allows me to mine trees faster. And that's pretty much it. You don't want the train to overheat, so you splash it with water. Each player has a axe or a pickaxe that can allow them to gather resources. And yeah, I guess the gimmick with this stage is that there are moles, and if you get rid of the moles, get rid of the holes, they might have very cool things inside of them. Like for instance, they might have dynamite, a rail, or wood and stone. As you play this game, you'll with friends, it is fun, but it's also very stressful, like I've said. Me and my friend, we picked this game up, and we are honestly on top of it. We are very on top of things. It's also, you know, those friends that like you're following their lead because they know more about the game. Yeah, it's one of those things. Anyway, this game is pretty fun to play with friends, like I keep saying. I would recommend to play with your friends if you have any. But yeah, every single station that you go to, you will see pathways, and depending on the pathways that you choose, they will give you certain things. There's chests, which allow you to get a free item. There are shops, which you spend the bolts that you get throughout completion to buy stuff. And then there are blacksmiths, which allow you to upgrade your wagon. And then with 10 bolts, you can enter a biome changer, which also gives you a free extension, which is what you see at the bottom right, with it right next to my character. So there isn't really an end goal to this game. You want to see how far you can go because there is distance. So yeah, trying to remember what else I'm forgetting, because I know I'm forgetting something. I just can't remember what. That's pretty much, oh yeah, the difficulties. Each route will have different difficulties. There are green, which means easy, yellow, which means medium, red, which means hard, and then black, which means extreme. And depending on how difficult the stage is, the more bolts that you will get, the more bolts that you will achieve, which you can then spend more money on. It's a very easy game to figure out. So once you get the hang of that, then you're pretty much chilling. So yeah, those are the 3 roguelikes I like to talk about today, and I hope you guys do enjoy this video. And maybe if you see a game that you are interested in, you might get it. And I hope you do, because these games are extremely fun to play with friends, except for Balatro, that's a single player game. So yeah, hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope everyone had a good 2024 end of the year break, and have a good school year, because I know that's coming up.